Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever time and wherever you are in the world. Welcome to this video that will talk you through CIS 8080, ACCT 8680, or MIT 8080, and the basic syllabus that underlines those three courses. I'm going to be using the MIT version of the syllabus for this particular video, but really it applies to all three variants of the courses, and I'll try to point out those differences as I'm going through. So, the first thing to note is that if you're taking the MIT version of the course, it's going to be a traditional 5-meeting course, and each of those lessons are going to be about 4 hours long. So part of it will be in class, those 5 4-hour classes, and then we'll do some part of it online in between. If you're taking the online version, you don't have the traditional 5-meeting courses, but what you do have is lots more shorter courses that are online and consist principally of PowerPoint presentations and videos like this that are going to be posted up in YouTube. Here's the required course book. It is required. There's only one book. We do want you to use the third edition of this particular book. For all variants of the course, I'll be covering the first 5 chapters, Chapter 1 to Chapter 5, in this particular book. Here's my name. I mentioned it earlier on, Dr. Curtis Carver. I am my normal daytime job, I guess I should say, is as Vice Chancellor and Chief Information Officer for the University System of Georgia. So I'm responsible for the IT that's running at the 31 public colleges across Georgia, and that includes Georgia State, where I teach as a adjunct faculty member. This is my telephone number. Feel free to call me. You'll get my executive administrative assistant, and she'll try to get you linked up with me. My days are pretty busy, and so it's more likely that you're going to be talking to my admin Nancy than you are to me, but it is a great mechanism to reach out and grab me, and if I'm not in the middle of a meeting, I'll stop what I'm doing and gladly chat with you. Here's my email address, kurt.carver@usg.edu. That is over my Board of Regents account. You can email me using the Georgia State account. It works. It just is automatically forwarded over to my USG account. You also can use my Desire to Learn email account, and that works well. I do only check that account daily, and I would ask that if I don't respond to you at any of those 3 email accounts within 24 hours to please give me a call, because my goal is to respond within 24 hours to your query, so I can help you out and you don't get slowed down in preparing for and succeeding in this class. Alright, venues. This particular class, if you're taking it as MIT 8080, then that's going to be a mix of in-class and distance education experiences, with that in-class component being 5 4-hour sessions where we meet in the classroom. If you're doing the online version, you don't have those in-class meetings, but instead you'll be using Desire to Learn normally as your learning environment, and then I'll be connecting in via chat or responding to the discussion boards to talk with you synchronously if you have any issues. You should be able to get to all of these videos up in YouTube, and so I try to record all 5 chapters so that you've got some material to review if you didn't get it the first time it was covered. Course description. You know, the only real big thing that I want to raise during the course description is this is, while I'm a computer scientist by trade, the assumption is that you're not. That you're an MBA graduate student, or that you're a graduate student with a non-technologist background, and thus I should be covering material from that perspective. So there's no programming within the course. It's helpful if you understand it and you understand computer networks and operating systems, but if you don't, I'll explain enough of the technology so that you can understand the security components associated with it. I've been involved with security for about 30 years. My master's and doctorate degree are both in computer security. That's what I worked on. And so I feel I should be able to answer any questions and explain it in such a way that you understand it. I've taught at the collegiate level at multiple institutions for, well, my goodness, almost 20 years now. Again, while I'm a technologist and I'm over on the operations side for the most part, I have been teaching for quite a while, both at Georgia State, Central Texas, Texas A&M, and at West Point, the military academy. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. I'm always happy to answer them and keep you on moving in the right direction. So enough on the course description. Let's scroll down, look at the objectives. I really want to focus down on this bottom part based on what you're going to understand, what you should be able to do. But really, to cut to the chase, what I want you to be able to do is be functional in a business setting. So if there is a conversation taking place around computer security or privacy, that you can participate in that conversation. You understand the basic definitions and the basic methodologies that underlie this subject area, and you understand some of the tools that you can use to solve problems within that area, and you can apply them in a business setting. And you'll see that our assessments, our evaluations later on in the course are tied to demonstrating your ability to function in a business setting. Should be a cool course for you. All right, let's scroll down. The class policies are pretty standard for courses that are taught at Georgia State. So you can scroll down through those. For the MIT version of the course, got to emphasize you really should be in class. A large component of the material being presented is going to be covered in class. You should make sure that your assignments are completed by you and turned in by you. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. Please do the readings and assignments ahead of time. It'll make a whole heck of a lot more sense to you, and then afterwards you can review videos such as these to make sure you didn't miss something. You know, hearing it that second time is always helpful. All right, let's go down and talk about academic honesty. Again, a lot of this is copied and it should be standard between all classes. Let me be specific though to this class in terms of what the expectations are. You're going to have 5 quizzes, and I guess I can just scroll down to that. Why don't we do that? Probably a good way to talk about this. So you're going to have about half of your grade in the form of a final paper and a PowerPoint presentation. That's about 50% of your grade. That project is an individual project. Well, what does that mean? That means I'm going to give you the project today, you know, the first day of class, and you can work on it throughout the entire semester. It's open book, it's open note, it's open web. It's just not open collaboration. You can't write it with another student. You can't use other students, either current students or former students, to help you with it. It's meant as individual work. But everything else is open. It's kind of like real life. A lot of times you got a problem you got to solve. You got to solve it, but you can use books and you can use the web and the course material, discussion boards, that sort of stuff. And that's all fine. What you can't do is go and have somebody else do the work for you. Your 5 quizzes, your midterm is going to be 25% of your course. It's going to be similar to the final. It's open right now. You can look at what the 5 questions are. The expectation is you're going to generate, 2 to 4 pages in answering the 4 short answer questions associated with it. The questions are not a surprise. It's an individual submission as well, and that means you should be working on it by yourself. But it is open note and open coursebook and open web. You can go and use those sources. Just can't use former students and previous students. They're the forbidden fruit. And then finally you'll have 5 quizzes. Each quiz has a due date associated with it. You have 1 hour to complete the quiz. Each quiz is 5 or 6 either multiple choice, true, false, fill in the blank type questions. Really shouldn't be a time rush to do it, but it is to get a little bit of a ticker that you're working on the project or you're working on the course and staying up with the course. I will caution the words that form the question. This is a surprise, but they're important. Read the words. Answer the question. All of the words that are included in the question are important. So you want to make sure that you read the question, then answer it. You're not going to have a time rush on it, but don't take too little time and then get the answer wrong because you didn't read the question. All right, grade distribution is normal for courses at Georgia State. I haven't modified that. And this down here basically talks about your quizzes and really says everything that I just said. You know, open book, open note, open web, close collaboration with others. Midterm, same thing, you can find it there. There is one smaller point here that I haven't covered, and that is my expectation is that you will do the midterm in your word processor of choice, and that you will upload that into Dropbox via Desire to Learn. What I'm hoping to see is a Word document or a PDF document that I can then grade. And then your security paper, you can see the details here, and we'll talk some more about this in class, but it's going to be a 1 or 2 page executive summary followed by up to 8 pages of supporting material, and then an executive presentation. So this is going to be a decision presentation. And again, if you go through the course material, you'll see where I get very specific about what I'm looking for in that executive presentation, in the executive summary, and in the supporting material. And the cool thing is you're all adults. You got all the material right now. If you want to start on the final today, you could start on the final. All right. Anyway, let's slide down a little bit more, and this should bring us to the schedule. And actually, I'm going to stop the video here because the schedule is different based on the variant of the course you're taking. And so I hope you've enjoyed this first video with an overview of the course syllabus. The next video will be a look at the schedule based on the variant of the course that you're taking. Talk to you later. Hope things are going well. Bye-bye.